Hello, Whiskey Wolves. Welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm your host, Mark, and this is Whiskey Review number 116. This one's a little bit different. We're doing a roundup today, a roundup of basic scotches, basic Scotch whiskies. These are blended Scotch whiskies. They're a blend of grain whiskey, distilled in a column still, which is basically straight up, and malt whiskey, which is distilled using only malted barley in a pot still. There's some other rules to qualify as one or the other. Anyway, essentially that's what we're talking about here. A blend of grains, typically corn, possibly wheat, possibly also malted barley, and barley malt distilled at one distillery. That's the single part. Single malt, so a blend of single malts, many different ones from many different distilleries, and then the grain whiskey. Anyway, let's go through the brands first of all, and I'll start with the ones in the front according to my memory because I can't see them very well. We have Ballantine's Finest here, right down there. That's from Pernod Ricard with an English accent. That's the French conglomerate. They are, I believe, the #2 spirits group in the world. And then next to them, which one was that? Where is it there? Oh, I'm gonna have to cheat. Yes, okay. This is a French brand from was it Paridot? I believe it's Paridot, I think. Anyway, I forget the name of the company, but it's called Sir Edward's. It's apparently quite a hot seller in many European countries, as well as well, I'm not sure exactly where. I should have looked it up to see where it sells well, but it's available here in Korea, and apparently it's from France. France is where the brand is from. It is blended Scotch whiskey, so it is 100% Scotch whiskey from Scotland. Scottish whiskey, as I said before, and I'll say it again. And the next there, I believe, is Grant's. This is Grant's Family Reserve. There it is. And going down the line, we have a Korean brand of blended Scotch whiskey. So the company ordered it from another company in Scotland who blends, and this one's called Scotch Blue, and this comes to us from I believe it is Angus Dundee. Okay, so that's Angus Dundee. They own a couple of fairly major single malt distilleries. Then there's Grant's. Grant's is owned by William Grant and Sons, and well, we'll just talk about that briefly. Tom and Towel and Glencadam are the brands that they own. That one would be Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and Kinninvie, as well as the new Isla Bay distillery. And I think they part own a grain distillery as well. And then we have Sir Edward's, and I believe that is Glenmoray is the big malt that goes in there. There's probably many malts in there, but it's probably the one that goes in the most. And then with the Ballantines, that's from Pernod Ricard. So Glenlivet would be one of the major ingredients in Ballantines, and many others. Okay. Do we miss one? Oh yeah. And in the back row, the big bottles here. So we've got Teachers, Highland Cream. So this is from Beam Suntory. And next to that is J&B, Justerini and Brooks, Rare. Diageo is the owner of this one. Then we have Dewar's White Label, owned by Dewar's, who in turn is owned by Bacardi. The Famous Grouse, Edrington, Korea. Edrington, the global Edrington is imported by Edrington, Korea. Blah, 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 as I fumble. Okay, anyway, so Famous Grouse. Macallan and Highland Park would be major components in there. Then we have probably one that need not be introduced, and that is Johnnie Walker. Is it called Johnnie Walker? Yes, it's called Johnnie Walker. Johnnie Walker Red, was it Red? Red Label. Johnnie Walker Red Label. It's the biggest selling Scotch brand in the world, and most likely, actually I shouldn't say that. It's the biggest selling, I believe there are some bigger selling volume, anyway, the most valuable, we'll call it. There are some, I believe, some Indian brands of blended Scotch whiskey that I think actually sell more than this now. But let's just call it the industry leader. Johnnie Walker, the most famous Scotch whiskey brand in terms of brand power, and that's their basic bottle. So by volume, they would be selling just hordes and hordes of this one. Last but not least, this is another Diageo offering. This is White Horse. White Horse formerly owned Lagavulin Distillery, and as such, there's apparently a lot of Lagavulin in this, although I don't think as much as there would have been in the past. Okay, so I've got 10 Glencairn glasses in order to fill these 10 whiskeys. So we best get pouring, and I've got little sticky notes here, post-it notes to stick on the glasses. What we're going to do first of all, we're going to taste them one by one, just a little bit, not very much. And probably if I were to do this professionally, I might actually want to spit out the liquid rather than swallow to prevent myself from getting a little inebriated. But I am who I am, and I don't mind if I'm just slightly inebriated, and I hope that you don't mind either. Okay? It'll only be slightly. We're going to take our time, and we're going to make sure that we drink enough water, we being me. I'm not going to be drinking a whole glass of each of these. Of course not. That would put me under the table for sure. Okay, so we're going to get started with the pouring. And I think once they're all poured, then I'm going to clear the table of the bottles because it just takes up too much space there. You can't even see what kind of a shirt I've got on. Okay. All right, so let's start with Teachers. Very nice blend. Ardmore is the big component there. That was a hefty pour. I better not do that again. That's a good 30 milliliters, 30 plus maybe. We'll save the smelling until they all get poured. Okay, Teachers. All right, next is J&B. J&B actually also is a Diageo product. So we've got 3 from Diageo, 1 from Beam Suntory, 1 from Bacardi. Get that poured. J&B. Okay. Oh, again. I had better be careful here. Okay, Dewar's is next. Aberfeldy. That's a big single malt brand that they own. There, that's better. So what am I going to do with all these once I've tried them? I'll put a bit of saran wrap on them, sticky plastic wrap, stretchy plastic wrap, and I'll save them for tomorrow or the next day. They'll oxidize a little bit, but they'll still be drinkable. And I find actually some whiskeys actually are quite interesting the next day, wrapped up or covered. What do we have here? Famous Grouse. The Famous Grouse. There we are. And quick little shout out to someone new that, well, not new for me. We've known each other, I guess, through this little endeavor of mine, which is the same endeavor as hers. Her name is Kirsty, and she has a very interesting blog called Whiskey Corner. Anyway, so Kirsty, good to chat today, and really enjoy your blog. And I think that my viewers, you should check that out too. Whiskey Corner I believe it's .co.uk, I think. So Johnnie Walker Red now, I picked this up just for this event. I was hoping to find a smaller bottle. I couldn't. Anyway, ideally, whoa, I spilled some there. Ideally, I would have picked up a half bottle or even smaller, but I just couldn't find anything smaller than the 700. So hopefully that's 28,000 won, about $26 US. Hopefully that's $26 well spent. Now I had better tag these before I get things messed up here. We'll do that real quick. Teachers on the teachers. Okay, like so. Hopefully that sticks. And next is J and B. Seems to stick okay. I'll put it on the bulb of the glass first. Then we have Dewar's. And then after we've tried them one time, I'm going to put the sticky things on the bottom, or face them away from myself in such a way that I can't see them. Famous Grouse. And then we'll try them blind. I will try them blind. I got to stop using the word we. I'll try them blind and tell you which one I like the most. 1, 2. Anyway, that's Famous Grouse. And then we have Johnnie Walker Red. There we are. Okay, next, White Horse. Well, one nice thing you can do with a lot of these blends, if you like peat, for example, if you get a bottle of White Horse, you can always spruce it up a little bit with a dash or two of one of the constituent malts, ideally. So put a few drops of Lagavulin into your White Horse. Okay, so that's all of the current ones so far. Oh, White Horse, I forgot to give you a little sticky. Okay. White Horse. Like so. All right, and then the 4 in the front. So I'm going to clear these off now. Okay, bye-bye teachers. Put them down here. Bye-bye J&B. So long White Label. Goodbye Famous Grouse. Johnnie Walker Red Label. It's been a slice. White Horse, we'll see you again soon. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, sorry about that. A little bit of battery issues. Okay, Scotch Blue is next. This is called Scotch Blue Pocket. And I have done a couple of Scotch Blue reviews before, International and the 17-year-old. Again, too hefty a pour mark. I believe the Pocket is just a smaller version of the International, though it may be slightly different. Okay. All right, Grant's. Now this one I will only use half. I do intend on doing a review of this. So, Family Reserve. Well, that was more than half. Oh well. That's enough for a review. Get those off the table too. I think we should. Okay, 2 to go. Sir Edwards. Don't know what you're like. Let's find out. There we go. Dash more. Make sure they're all well represented. Now there are, the bulk of my reviews have been single malt Scotch whiskey, and let's say that's the current connoisseurs of Scotch whiskey are pretty much all about, or very nearly all about, this is Ballantine's, very nearly all about single malt. And I'd like to say that I think that they're missing out a little bit, or a lot in fact, on some very interesting blends. And if you listen to certain major figures in the whiskey industry, you'll find all of them agree that there's something about blends that's different than single malts. That being consistency is one thing, but also the balance. These should be better balanced than some single malts year after year after year. Okay, I wonder if I can fit these all across. I don't think I can. No, I can't. Maybe we'll go like that. There, I think we can do it. Yes, we can. Okay. Here we go.